Welcome to Type-C Tech Reviews. Today we're going to be unboxing the Aorus CO49DQ. If at any point during the video you want to check out this exact same monitor, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. Let's get into this. Now, Aorus sent me out a review unit that was already pre-opened, which is fine, but the unboxing might be slightly different because all of this has already been opened before. Here is the stand here. It would be wrapped in this kind of plastic, but no worries. There's a little bit of a design here with these lines that are kind of glossy. There's glossiness here. I think it looks pretty good. It doesn't look super expensive, but the price point here is actually amazing. 49-inch Super-Ultrawides, and this is a QD-OLED from Samsung, or manufactured by Samsung. For what it is, it's really not that much money. Now on the bottom of this, it is all metal. It has a nice high quality thumb screw and lots of rubber here. It is quite a wide stand, so we'll see how far this protrudes, but obviously it's a 49-inch Super-Ultrawide. It's gonna be a wide stand. Now, this actually has a color calibration, factory calibration report, which is cool. They had it at a sRGB delta E of 1.67. So yeah, I mean, most of these have been pretty color accurate. All right, now we've got the top part of the stand. Looks like maybe the reviewer before me was not as careful with them. I'm usually pretty careful with my monitors, but I guess some people are not. There is an Aorus logo at the top of the stand right there, which looks pretty good. The stand overall is built pretty well. As you can see, someone actually did kind of hit it there. There's a little bit more glossiness here. And again, the plastic on the outside, well, it's just your basic plastic, but it feels durable and it's metal throughout, so it is heavy. To put these together, first we're gonna take off this little plastic to show the little bit of glossiness there. Look at those big chunks of metal. You line those up together, just like that, and then screw in that high quality thumb screw. And because this is a 49-inch, this thumb screw is longer than your average one to give it a little bit more pull and strength. But yeah, it is a pretty heavy stand, honestly, but I actually like the design because it just has these coming out. Well, let's put it on desk. And as you can see, it actually takes up quite a bit of space. It's a curved, it's got an 1800R curve. It does have to come out a bit. I would always prefer if it goes wider since it's already gonna be a wide monitor, but still, not a bad stand. Also in the box, we have the power cable, which has an integrated power supply, which is super nice. This is just a different region's power connection. We've got some paperwork and manuals. We've got an HDMI cable, a DisplayPort cable, a USB Type B to USB Type A, and then another region's power connection. With that, let's get to the panel itself. We're gonna lift this up, and there is that huge panel. I am surprised there's not a little slit here, but maybe we can just pull this up. Yeah, we can just pull it up. The bottom of the stand is actually this way, so we're gonna take the stand, come over to this way, line up these pins on the top here, and this is just a clip-in stand. So you just press down, and there it's locked in. That's a nice solid click. And then lifting this out, ooh, that's heavy. And let's take off the plastic. I love the way the 49 inches look. Obviously, this is a QD-OLED. It is a glossy finish, and it is glorious. I love when I see glossy finishes. All the QD-OLEDs typically have the glossy finishes, but on a Super-Ultrawide, that looks insanely cool. All right, let's check out the back of the monitor first. This is a heavy monitor. Now, if you guys remember, I actually reviewed the Samsung variant, the full Samsung panel of, I believe this same panel or maybe a different version of a 49-inch QD-OLED, and it had a lot of problems. So I'm definitely gonna be testing this one thoroughly to make sure this one doesn't have any bugs, overheating, or anything like that. We can see on the top here, we do have quite a bit of cooling. These are all openings here for the cooling. On the back here, this is actually all plastic. All of this is plastic here. I thought it would be metal, but maybe it's metal underneath. As far as height and tilt and everything, pretty decent, yeah, great amount of height actually. And then it's got tilt. Feels very solid actually, but it is a little firm, which you do want with this size. And swivel here, which is very nice to have on a 49-inch. The overall details look pretty good, but it is all plastic on the back. There is this little strip right here. Oh, check that out. It's like a rainbow design in it. If you move up and down while looking at it, that is really, really cool. Now, for your ports, this is where you plug in power, but on the other side is where you have all your ports. You have a 3.5mm audio out, you have two HDMIs, DisplayPort, USB Type B, USB Type C, this is your upstream port, and then you got two USB Type A's, and then your joystick is in the middle. But with that, let's get it on the desk, do initial impressions, gaming test, and a ghosting test. All right guys, with it on the desk, first thing I don't like is the power cable goes all the way over here, and there's really like no way to get it to like stay up there. So you'll have to do some cable management. that looks it looks pretty bad, to be honest with you. Maybe if we just push it, we should just put it over the top actually. So rather than actually putting it, because this cable management hole is so low, I'm just gonna put it over the top like that. That looks a lot better. So you're just not using their cable management. Not a big deal though. I'm excited to turn on the panel. There's a joystick right in the middle, which is actually kind of tilted back. It's very comfortable. Let's turn it on though. There's a little light down there. I will say, whoever had this before did damage the screen slightly, which is super annoying. That's definitely like, whoever had this review unit before me was not super careful with it. Right up with this on the screen, first thing is the curve is awesome. It's not too curved, especially for a 49-inch. You actually want your screen to curve, in my opinion. Let's go into settings because this is not outputting full refresh rate. Let's do 144 Hertz. This is not the higher end one. I don't actually know if Aorus uses that panel, but you can get a higher refresh rate. Although for most people, 144 Hertz is gonna be pretty much as much as you want, since you are gonna have to be running a lot more pixels, so it'll be harder to hit those frames. With that, let's go into NVIDIA control panel. In here, we're running full resolution at 5120 by 1440p. So it's basically just 1440p height, and then it's, well, just longer, so it can maintain those pixels. Then let's see if we can output 10 bits of color, and we can, I expect that. But with that, let's go into the menu system. We have quick access to the game assist, power off, and OLED care, but let's go up into the settings. For this menu system, they actually slightly changed the graphics, still a little pixelated, doesn't look great, but is very easy to read. We have a black equalizer, super resolution, which is kind of just your over sharpening of things. You have your different aspect ratios, and then your FreeSync Premium Pro, which this does have, so obviously HDR with variable refresh rate, which is super nice. These are your different picture settings. We have an sRGB clamp, which is super nice. We have custom, and then eco. We're gonna put this into custom. Brightness is at 85%, but let's turn it all the way up to 100%, and it does get substantially brighter for an OLED. I'm assuming this is going to, have ABL essentially. We also have contrast. The menu system is very quick and responsive, which is nice. 6-axis color vibrancy. I'm also seeing the screen increase brightness and decrease brightness. I'm pretty sure because of this wallpaper that goes from kind of dark to light as it moves on. So there's definitely ABL here. We have our color temperatures, color space. So beyond just sRGB, we have Adobe DCI P3, which is great. Display, we have a KVM switch here. That's why you have those upstream ports, which is super nice. Picture in picture, picture by picture, which is very important for this display. All of your OSD settings, and then that's pretty much it. Not a ton of settings, but there it is. Let's test out the ABL right away. One of the best ways to test ABL is to have the majority of your screen, so basically just use a wallpaper to either go brighter or darker while you keep just a window of something that is typically white on screen. So you can literally just go in, we'll open Firefox here, make it a smaller window. So let's do it like that, which is you have white here. Then switch the background to something that is primarily white. Now if we change it to something dark, it should get brighter or change the brightness variant with that, and you'll be able to see that in the whites. Now here I'm actually not seeing too much of that, or maybe it's happening slowly. Maybe it was just hard for me to see before because of all of the lights in this room, which do make it very difficult, which is why I do full reviews, obviously. Okay, there is a variance. There definitely is variance when it dims with this right here and then it goes back. So that is interesting. With that, let's turn on HDR. That's what this monitor is about. All right, we're getting the exact same problem that we had with the last 49-inch QD-OLED, where it'll just randomly turn off. That's really annoying. Let's continue the unboxing and hope that that doesn't happen, because if it continues to do the same problems that we did before, I'll just add a section to this video, because this is exactly what happened on the Samsung panel, which I did not recommend because of that. Now, okay, Jesus Christ. The screen keeps going black every now and then coming back on when you're in game. Okay, it's in HDR movie. Let's change it to HDR game. Goes way brighter and very oversaturated, even though it is oversaturated, even though it is too much. Just the fact that this can have such deep, vibrant colors, which yes, they're oversaturated, but still it is quite cool. But the cool thing is, in these settings, we still have a brightness, we saw contrast, light enhance, so that's what makes it so much brighter. Interesting to try that in game. We have color enhance, which basically just oversaturates the colors. We also have a dark enhance here. That's pretty cool to include that. It's not doing that, switching back, turning the screen off, so I don't know. Let's hop in game, see how this thing does. All right, so it's been a little bit of time. This is having the exact same glitches that last panel I had that I bought myself for me. I just bought it because I wanted it for my office I had to send it back, and it was a big deal too because it was having so many glitches. This is having the identical glitch, one of them, which is it just randomly goes black screen every like 3 seconds. And it looks like with this panel, that's just in HDR. So far, it seems okay when it's not in HDR. So I don't know. I had to take it out of HDR. Literally cannot use it in HDR. The last time I tested that with multiple PCs, multiple different cables, all sorts of stuff, it was having the same problem. Hopefully, this is not that, but it seems like it is. I mean, all right, with it up, again, this is just in SDR. I mean, it's absolutely awesome. It looks beautiful. We're actually gonna turn the lights off so we can get the full black levels because this is a QD-OLED panel. And the colors here look vibrant and beautiful. I mean, obviously, this has 99% coverage of the DCI P3 color gamut, so it's really impressive. But really having that like peripheral view, especially in something like a racing game, like if we go into the cockpit here, you know, we have that out the window view. And I just turned up the FOV here so that we can actually get more out of the car here. And with something like this, with that extended FOV, I mean, that is so cool. I really want to use this on my racing sim downstairs, and I might end up doing that just because I think it would look so cool. That's one of the reasons I actually wanted that last panel, but it seems like this one also is having these issues, which is really unfortunate, but we'll have to see. If you can't use this monitor in HDR, that's like the whole reason you get it. Although maybe I'm missing something, so we'll see. However, the panel itself, glitches and bugs aside, it's beautiful. It's not the brightest thing in the world. I believe this is the older Samsung panels, not the Gen 3, the newest QD-OLED Gen 3 panel, so it is not quite as bright as the newer ones, but in a dim room, again, we still have the lights on here. There's 2 windows back there. It still looks very pretty. Brights up here are nice and bright, and putting this in HDR makes it significantly brighter. However, again, it glitches out. Let's try putting it in HDR again though, okay? We'll see if that makes the same bug happen, and we'll keep the camera going this time when the bug happens. This is gonna be in real time. I'm not gonna edit anything. Turn HDR on here. Wait for it to come on. There we go, HDR is on. And let's go back in game, do the settings here. So let's set it to HDR. I think we're gonna have to restart the game actually, which makes total sense. And you can see there's the black screen. So there's the black screen that started. Okay, and it's back on. Let's start Forza up now. And there's another black screen. That's not the game booting on, that's the black screen. Let's see if it'll come back on. And then that's what it does. So it constantly comes back on. It'll say DisplayPort, HDR, and then another black screen again, and then it comes back, and then another black screen again. So that's the problem. Again, I'll try hooking this up. I don't know. It could be a lot of things, but I tried all of those things with the Samsung panel. But you just, at some point, you just get completely locked out of the monitor. The display port won't work. With the last panel, and then you see it's back up here, and then it's goes right back off. Yeah, all right. The panel's really awesome. I love the panel, but it's so weird that this glitches like the other one glitches, and I think overall for that reason I probably can't recommend it. I'm gonna test this out. I'm not gonna do a full review of this thing unless the glitches are fixed. However, if the video ends here, then check out the review right here. If there's not a video right there, then I didn't end up doing a review. That being said, we haven't had a black screen for a little bit, so it just did like 5 black screens and then it was okay. So let's see if we can get in game now. No black screen yet, it's just, oh. Okay, well now we're here in game with HDR on. It just stopped doing the black screens. I mean, it looks really good. Colors look great. The width of this is just crazy awesome, guys. It's just absolutely crazy awesome, especially with this view. It's in HDR right now and it's not doing black screen. Still really annoying that it does black screen like 12 times or more before it stops doing it. And I don't know if it does stop doing it, but it looks so good, guys. Like, this looks so good. Obviously, I have to turn my settings down. We are gonna get the new 5090 for this room so that I'll be able to push these monitors further with higher refresh rate, which we've been needing to do for a long time, as I've had to switch to my other PC with a 4090 in it. But this looks absolutely excellent, guys. It really does. I love this panel so much. I loved the Samsung panel so much, but the glitches just like, they did not work everything out here. The Samsung panel also had overheating problems, And a lot of people in that video were just saying, hey, you had a lemon monitor, all these things happened that were just bugs and glitches. Why don't you still, not recommending it over just that? Was ridiculous. It was because multiple problems that should not have been linked together were linked. I reviewed hundreds of monitors. It's very rare to have a monitor that has like 4 problems that are like all things that are quality control problems. It just it doesn't happen. It's not like a car. There's not that many moving parts to it. Like I never have this problem, really. Like almost no monitors ever have this problem. And both of these panels, which are the same panels, have that problem, which, that's very telling that these panels are not perfect. And there's bugs that it seems like the companies or Samsung is not working out and everyone else is just selling these panels, which I think is pretty bad to do that to your customers when they're paying, $1,200. However, it's working okay now. And I don't think I'm gonna finish the review on this because look, as a panel itself, QD OLEDs are excellent. The color coverage is great. The accuracy is very good, especially with white balance. I can tell you that just visually. The color accuracy, parts of it look oversaturated, but it's very, very pretty. And you have pretty good adjustment in HDR, which I think is impressive. While it is, contrast, light enhance here, so you can turn the brightness up. One probably looks the best to me. And then you have color enhance, so you can make it more vibrant. You have some adjustment over how it visually looks in HDR. And if you're just playing games, that's all you really need. The brightness here in a room that's dimly lit like this, but we still have some bright lights on, looks very good. Black levels are excellent when you're in a dim room. And the overall, the experience of this is so amazing. I absolutely love it. However, expect bugs to happen. Expect what happened here and potentially expect overheating. I can't say that for sure, but that might be a problem. I don't think these panels are really ready for mass market. I think you have to go in knowing that these might have a big problem. I'm not going to recommend it. I'm not going to not recommend it. I'm going to say do your own research, be ready for there's a problem if you really, really want this panel. If we're just talking about the screen itself, it is absolutely excellent. It is absolutely amazing, but the implementation may not be perfect. If you guys do want to check it out, again, that was my warning. Amazon links below. It seems to be doing okay now. I'll put a little update here in the video if it continues to do well, and maybe that was just out of the box it was doing that. But there's this Type-C tech reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next video.